honestly, like you, I don't have any problem with somebody doing canned. I mean, I think canned green beans are gross, but they're fine if you like them.
We were telling our kids the other day, we were like, you guys, Mom and Dad only got canned vegetables when they were growing.
I only got canned vegetables too.
You guys are so
I actually think canned green beans taste fine. A lot of canned things I don't like, but I'm okay with canned green beans. You salt. Welcome to the Bacon, Bibles, and Barbells podcast. I'm Coach Justin, joined by Coach Amanda and Coach Emily as usual. Bill is still not to be found. We think he's in a cave somewhere, but we're not totally sure. Sometimes he messages us and sometimes he doesn't. Pray for him. So today we're going to talk about the new food pyramid. Not the old food pyramid, the new one, the one that's upside down. So a lot of people have asked us questions about our opinion on it. I think I did like a short video on Facebook on it. We've looked at it. We've read the PDF, the guidelines a little bit at a high level. So we are here to render an opinion. And Amanda, you're actually, you can call yourself a nutritionist, right?
So not nutritionist by the actual dietitian. Have gone to dietitian school since, but new fitness nutrition coach is one of my certifications. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it seems pretty close to me. So
it's close enough.
I think all the core
I don't honestly know if they teach anything different. It's
probably it's probably the same thing, but with more general credits. So we'll just we'll just say we'll
go with it.
Pretend you are for a moment. So we're going to talk about the picture because pictures are great. And then, of course, we'll talk about some of the details because they actually do have some guidelines and stuff like that. At first glance, this is how it strikes me, and then I kind of want to hear how it strikes you. And then, maybe Emily too and stuff. So I like seeing meat at the top and vegetables. I think that's great. I think it's weird that they put cheese at the top next to the chicken and beef. I think that's very strange. I also think it's weird that olive oil's like prominently on the top and center and along with, not that it's bad. It's just like, to me, height on this upside down pyramid implies quantity and priority. And you don't need to seek out oil, in my opinion. It's just in the food we eat because we cook with it. And what oil you cook with does matter. I'm not saying that. It's just like we don't really need to look for it. And so usually the portions you'd reasonably use would be lower. And strangely enough, like grains are at the bottom, which you would normally in a healthy diet consume in far greater quantities than something like olive oil, in my opinion. Just like cheese. I don't think anybody should eat more cheese than they're eating grains. 10 out of 10, don't recommend. It does have a lot of good things though. It's cool that eggs are in there. These are generally good protein sources. I think we would all agree on that. I like fruit is prominent. It's just I think the main thing I see here are like the high fat things, the dairy things. Not that I'm against fat or against dairy. It's just that they're kind of high and prominent and central, and that to me implies greater quantities. And I, as a correction to the standard American diet, I would not feature those so prominently. I guess that's how the whole thing strikes me. Mm-hmm. What do you think? And you can't say me too.
I also agree that the meat at the top is good. It's like this is not an exact reversal of the original food pyramid that there was. But I believe it's intending to show you what you should have more of and less of. But at the same time, it looks like some things are placed where they're placed because that's where the clip art landed to make a triangle. So
there could be some artistic license
arranged there a certain way. Like, why would you have more olive oil than an apple, for example?
Yeah.
But, the clip art fit that way.
Well, it's got like 1.5 apples, though.
It does have 1.5 apples.
Yeah, I mean, the apple has a lot of representation.
Yeah. Not nearly enough grapes for Bill, and he's not here to defend himself. So.
Or blueberries.
Yeah, I know.
Only like 4
There's
there.
4 blueberries,
4 blueberries.
and a very small. I mean, that's how many.
1 shrimp.
Yeah,
maybe 2.
That's like maybe 10% of the grapes that Bill eats in a day. So
yeah.
For those of you that think we're joking, I'm not joking. Actually, Bill counts his grapes and will literally eat like 120 grapes in a day.
Frozen, preferably.
Yeah, often frozen. Yeah, yeah, especially in the summer. And which, by the way, I'm making fun of him, but also not making fun of him because it totally works great for him, and grapes are good for you. But it is funny. He does destroy grapes.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember the food pyramid from, gosh, I can't remember what year it was, but it wasn't the original one where like things were stacked and like grain was on the bottom. It was like vertical slices.
Okay.
Do you remember that food pyramid?
I don't think so.
It had exercise as one of them.
Really?
Oh.
So like that one, I think was one of the better ones. I still would have adjusted a lot to it, but it was one of the easiest to follow. It had an exercise slice in there. Yeah. And I liked that. This seems to be trying to be a little more artistic, which I suppose for a child is easier to understand than some of the others. And maybe that's why they did that. But I mean, overall, I think it's better. There still would be things I would move around, especially the carbs. I would maybe even swap the butter and the olive oil because I would prefer animal fats to olive oil, but I wouldn't put either of them as high as that is.
Yeah, I just wouldn't put any fats up high. Basically.
Yeah. I mean, this is really a response to all the people who are on keto and carnivore. Like it's good to see a steak near the top. Red meat was demonized for long enough.
Yeah, and egg. There's an egg up there too, pretty high. I mean, that's good.
Yeah,
should be like 5 eggs, but
Right. I appreciate the whole foods on here. One big beef I had with some of the previous food pyramids.
You get it.
Were the cereal and pasta. I don't see either of those on here, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
wasn't it like 7 to 8 servings?
Not cold
a day.
Cereal, yeah.
It was some crazy.
Yeah. Like a box of cereal was one of the photos. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Right.
That is actually, I would say that's probably the most drastic positive change. Is these are, I mean, everything's it's got green beans in a can. Yeah. I actually don't care if you eat green beans fresh or in a can. Like I really don't think that matters.
Yeah.
But there are far less, I guess, of what we would call ultra processed foods. All of these foods, like all the protein sources, all the carb sources, they're very perishable. They're not frozen foods. In fact, I don't think anything on here. I mean, you can
There's
freeze all
frozen
these.
peas, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, are those frozen?
I love frozen peas.
Yeah, they could be frozen peas. Yeah. I mean, but you can freeze all of your berries too, right? And they're fine. You can freeze a steak.
Right.
I guess what I'm going is like these aren't things that have to be sold frozen like a lasagna. Yeah. You can't buy a refrigerated lasagna at the store. It has to be frozen, or else it will be bad by the time you try to cook the stupid thing. By the way, don't buy frozen lasagna ever.
But there's not a lot of shelf stable, full of preservative, bags of chips and stuff like this. Obviously, canned anything is shelf stable, but honestly, I like you. I don't have any problem with somebody doing canned. I mean, I think canned green beans are gross, but they're fine if you like them.
We were telling our kids the other day, we were like, you guys, mom and dad only got canned vegetables when they were growing.
I only got canned vegetables too.
You guys are so
I actually think canned green beans taste fine. A lot of canned things I don't like, but I'm okay with canned green beans. You salt them.
They're rubbery. Like if you cook them from fresh, they're not.
And they break apart too.
Salted rubber, even better.
Salty rubber tastes better than unsalted rubber. Yeah. Everybody agrees.
Yeah.
When I first looked at this pyramid, I was a little upset because I didn't see the potato, but then I did see it after a little while. There's like a little potato above the grapes. I think it's a potato.
Okay, I thought it was a mango for a second, but you're probably right.
I think it's a potato.
Yeah, but at first I was a little upset there were no potatoes.
Written list.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think it's there.
Yeah. Okay.
That probably is a potato.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say this is pretty good. I mean, if people, and I'll say this, it's the same thing I would say about keto and carnivore, but if I was grading it, I would give it a higher grade than keto or carnivore. If everybody in America ate keto or carnivore, America would be healthier. Not that it's the best, but we'd be healthier, I believe. If everybody ate just based on looking at this pyramid, we would all be healthier. And I would say even healthier than keto or carnivore.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think, so the next part we're going to talk about are the portions guidelines. That's where this falls down a little bit more for me. And I actually think that there's a lot to be said. We actually covered this, man. I feel like it was 2 years ago. What's it called? It's like the portion, the plate portion size guidelines. I think that was an Obama era thing. That was actually pretty good, where it's like a fist size of meat and a fist size of carbs and a fist size of veggies for dinner. Something like that. Really
and a glass of milk.
Yeah, and a glass of milk. Yeah. Which fine if you
got a nod at that dairy industry.
I guess that's. I mean, if you can handle the calories and you're tolerant. I mean, I have a glass of milk every morning with my breakfast, but I can take the calories, so
Yeah.
But if I'm dieting, if I'm trying to lose weight, that's actually one of the first things I change. Or I'll go to the ultra filtered. Yeah, because it's just a lot of calories. It's an easy way to cut calories. So that could be fine. I'm just saying though that I think that is the way you get 300 million people to eat healthier. You do want to simplify things a bit, and I feel like that approach had a lot of simplicity to it that was good.
Yeah.
It's cool that this has the visual of, because all these things on the picture are things that all of us should probably eat. It's just that it comes down to quantities. And my main issue is the implied hierarchy of, why did you put olive oil at the top? Why did you put cheese at the top and whole milk specifically towards the top? Especially when probably a third of the population shouldn't touch milk at all because it's just going to wreck them. So anyway, we'll leave that aside. So let's move on to the dietary guidelines. So they have a table, and you can see this. You can download this on realfood.gov. There's a PDF download that's a serving size guideline, and it sort of is meant to extrapolate how much of each of these things should you eat on a daily basis. They have, and it's not divided by meals; it's divided by food groups. So you got, and by the way, I do find this a little weird. So under food groups, I would have expected protein, carbs, and fats. Although honestly, I wouldn't really. Here's what I would do: protein, fats, veggies, fruits. Sorry, protein. Why did I say it that way? Protein, carbs, veggies, fruits. You don't need to go find fats. They're there. If you're eating protein, you're eating fats, basically almost all the time. So that's how I would more think about it. They have divided it into protein foods, dairy, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and healthy fats.
What's interesting is it doesn't, and I don't know if this was intentional or if maybe an oversight or what, but the chart doesn't match the order of the pyramid. They actually do have fats on the bottom of the chart. Yeah. I don't know if it's supposed to be a hierarchy in the chart and not on the graphic or vice versa, but it's interesting.
It's very weird. I said this before we started. This appears to me to be designed by a committee that has never helped people eat a healthy diet. in the sense that it's just very complicated. And if you follow it to the letter, you can get an okay amount of protein, or you could get like almost no protein and basically eat just fats. For the vast majority of your calories, which I don't recommend anybody do. So anyway, let's like kind of walk through and I think some of this. So like, well, you just use the 2,000 calorie column, I think. And by the way, that's like whatever dietary guideline that's been on the back of food labels forever. Like average adult eats 2,000 calories, blah, blah, blah. Most of you shouldn't eat that much. Just like most people should, like almost zero women should, by the way. Hardly any women can burn 2,000 calories in a day. And a lot of men don't need that many either, unless you're very muscular. Like 2,000 is what I put most men on to lose weight when they're really big. But as soon as they get down like in the mid to low 200s, we have to take them down below 2,000. And when we get them to maintenance, until they're muscular, they usually don't go above 2,000 calories. If you're a not particularly muscular man, unless you are working very hard physically all day, you probably don't burn 2,000 calories unless you're like over 6'2", maybe. Like tall guys, there's an exception. But again, we'll just use 2,000 because it's a nice round number, and it's the silly number that's put out there as average, which is goofy because there are more women than men, and they're the only women who can eat that much and not get huge are athletes or really tall.
Yeah, I think it's because 2,000 is easy to calculate from. You don't want to go all the way down to 1,000. Everyone would be under eating, or 1,500 is harder to calculate fast from. So I can understand.
Yeah. Why, that's why we're having the discussion about 2,000, right? Because it's easier. And like, and we're not saying like never go down to 1,000. Like if you want to, that's fine. It's just like very often most people don't need to do that. Not helpful. So, I've seen a lot of coaches that are trying to like get business to be like, if your coach has you eating 1,000 calories or less per day, then they're whatever terrible. And it's like, well, maybe they are, but some small women, like that's what it takes to lose weight at a certain point. So just depends on your calories. Anyway, so the 2,000 calorie man, let's say this is a guy that, maybe he does some running and lifting. So they have these servings, and it's how many servings you would eat per day of each of like the protein foods. So one serving is 3 ounces of cooked meat or poultry or seafood, 1 egg, half a cup of beans. Okay, so that, by the way, that's a little silly because like black beans are 50-50 protein and carbs. Pinto beans are just carbs. There's almost no protein in them. So
and
like
there's varying levels of fiber and like, I would count beans, and I do for myself as a carb.
I usually do too.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's incidental protein in black beans.
Yeah, they're carbs and fiber.
Yeah. Peas, like there's not that much protein in peas. Or lentils, 1 ounce of nuts or seeds. Do not use nuts as your protein source. It is mostly fats. Not that nobody should eat fats, but it's like, yikes. 2 tablespoons of nut or seed butter.
Somebody pick up a peanut butter jar right now and read the label on that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Go look at
how
fat. Much. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Go look at what. So if you're the 2,000 calorie man and you're going to go for 4 servings, because it says 3 to 4, that would be 8 tablespoons of peanut butter, I guess.
For your protein all day.
For your protein. Yeah. I don't know how many calories that is, but I think that's going to be.
What would that end up being? Like 120 grams of fat or something?
It's got to be north of 1,000 calories right there. Yeah.
It'd be close to 800 because 2 tablespoons is 190 calories.
Yeah. I was thinking fat grams. But we're probably going to get to the same number.
Fat grams. Yeah.
Protein. Peanut butter is a fat source.
Correct.
And a good salt source, I guess. It's very salty.
Yeah.
You can live off it.
And many peanut butter brands actually have added palm oil and sugar
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And palm oil is very inflammatory.
Yeah. But
my name is Justin Johnson with High Calling Fitness. Maybe you're tired, gaining weight, waking up with joint pain, back pain, and a body that just doesn't feel like it used to. You've tried to fix it, but nothing seems to last. What if you don't need another app or crash diet, but a real coach, someone to meet you where you're at and walk with you step by step? At High Calling Fitness, our coaching comes to you wherever you are. No matter where you live, small town or city, across the country or across the world, your health still matters. You don't have to go it alone. We build personalized plans based on your goals, your schedule, and your equipment, even if it's just a set of dumbbells in a small space. This isn't just training, it's a personal partnership. You'll get weekly updates, one-on-one access to your coach, and ongoing support through Zoom and Slack every step of the way. We're here to help you build strength, restore energy, and claim the life you were meant to live. Book a free consult today. Let's talk about your goals and see how we can build something better together. High Calling Fitness, built for the everyday, ready for the extraordinary.
it keeps you from having to stir it, so that's why everybody likes
that's just so great. Yeah, I mean, it tastes great. I mean, I love peanut butter.
We're an unashamed Jif family.
I love peanut butter. It tastes amazing. I don't eat very much of it.
We make so many other good choices, but
we don't eat it daily, but I love peanut butter. One of my favorite meals to eat, post-workout bulking meals, is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a protein shake, or 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with a protein shake. Tastes amazing. But
just from the protein list alone that this has, I would call the beans, peas, and lentils carbs.
Yeah.
I'd call the nuts and nut and seed butters as fat sources. And I wish, not that this should be your primary source, they would include whey protein powder or something like that. Because a lot of people see these and they're like, there's no way I can get that much, meat or eggs or whatever. I'll get tired of it.
Yeah.
And it's okay to use whey or some, casein protein or whatever you can handle. Yeah. I know it's processed and they're trying not to put processed things on here, but technically by definition, yogurt is processed.
They did put 3 ounces of soy, so they lost me there with their.
Soybeans.
I was just going to skip over that part.
Yeah, soybeans.
It deserves to be called out every time it comes up.
Yeah.
Soybeans often cause a lot of digestive issues for most people. It's not very digestible. It's lower quality protein.
If you're lactose intolerant, soy protein's not the solution. It's casein protein, potentially isolate. A lot of lactose-free people can handle whey isolate. So there's other more
pea protein. There's also
options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can get beef protein powder now too. And chicken. Yeah. So, I mean, if you followed this, the best outcome is you're going to eat 12 ounces of chicken, which is going to be what, how many grams of protein would 12 ounces of chicken be? That'd be
60, 70, depending on the cut.
Yeah, 70 or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you're a man that should be eating 2,000 calories, you probably weigh 200 pounds. That's less than half of the protein you should get. That's probably the most protein. That's probably the highest protein option here.
Yeah.
And at other extremes, if you go the peanut butter route or the egg route, even, which I'm not saying don't eat eggs, but 4 eggs as your only protein for the day, that's 24 grams of protein. That is what you should get more than that every meal.
It's not even breakfast.
Yeah, you should get double that every meal if you're a man that eats 2,000 calories to maintain your weight.
Yeah.
So I would say overall not enough protein and just not enough nuance around just some poor choices here. Really high fat choices is the main thing. And also things that are more carbs. The whole thing about getting meaningful protein from beans is, I think it's just kind of silly. Mm-hmm. Most beans are mostly carbs. Black beans are the main exception, and they're about 50-50, I believe. and you shouldn't be trying to get all of your protein from it because it doesn't have leucine in it and some other things. It's just not as complete of a protein amino profile. I'm saying don't eat them. It's just that shouldn't be your protein source.
Yeah.
So dairy is the next category, which I think is a silly thing to just because a lot of people are lactose intolerant, or even if they're not lactose intolerant per se, they have a sensitivity to dairy products. They get bloated. People get they just get like inflamed joints. Their digestion might be totally fine. Joint pain, like we've seen a lot of this in clients. Emily is this way. She doesn't get like totally messed up from dairy, but like she gets achy and inflamed. And we've had a lot of people that.
Yeah, there are certain areas of dairy I just stay away from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so just for.
It's interesting that there's a category for it in the first place. I understand there's like this trying to be all inclusive thing, which is why they have plant sources in the protein area.
Yeah.
You know, I understand the thought and and various lobbyists pushing for certain things to be in here. And I understand how people are thinking of dairy as, a calcium need, which you do need calcium, but
just eat red meat.
It's interesting just to have it as its own category. And, maybe that's just because I think in macros, but dairy is not a macro.
It's not. Yeah, it's definitely. I just think it's. Yeah, I think it's silly that it's even a category. I guess we could probably just leave it there. Like, this should be more like macros focused. Like I said, like I would be thinking more in terms of like proteins, carbs, fruits and veggies.
Yeah.
For this kind of thing.
There are some unique things you can get from dairy if you tolerate it well, but they're not going to be like the make or break of your nutrition at the end of the day.
No. As an adult, you could never eat dairy and be perfectly healthy. There's nothing that it particularly uniquely provides that an adult needs.
Yeah. And personally, I think of various dairy sources as like, what's their protein carb fat ratio? Because depending on where I am, if I'm gaining or cutting or whatever it may be, like I'll vary between whole milk and skim milk through the year because I like it in my shake, but sometimes I need less fat. Lower fat milk is higher carb, by the way. It's not really a source of any particular macro that you'd have to think of, but
right.
I thought all adults use water in their whey protein.
I don't. I do when I have to. I do when I'm like deep in prep.
She can.
But I just like milk.
Capable.
Yeah. I will say too, like a couple of years ago, I recognized that our dairy was one of the sources of lowest quality basically in our diet. Basically, like it's hard to source actually really good quality dairy. And so I kind of had to go down that rabbit hole of like, where can if we still want to have yogurt, and I don't want to make everything, right? Like, take that out of there. Okay? I'm not making everything these days.
Where can I get a goat?
Right. That's not on the table at the moment for the Johnson family. But like, where could I actually get like good quality yogurt?
You get what you pay for with dairy.
Yeah. And so I had to go down that rabbit hole because it actually is harder, quite a bit harder to find good quality dairy from a nutrition standpoint. And I did find, like, we get great cheese now, great yogurt.
It tastes better too. Mm-hmm. Man, it makes better pizza to use higher quality mozzarella.
It's expensive and it's hard to find.
Yeah, but it does taste better too. It is more enjoyable. So anyway, we beat the dairy horse. It's dead and constipated.
Dairy comes from cows.
We beat the dairy cow. Yeah.
Dairy cow. I wanted to have a dairy cow so bad when I was growing up because I grew up on a farm, and like all the dairy cows are this like especially the Jerseys have this beautiful brown color and these big brown eyes
and the eyelashes
and the big eyelashes. Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get one day.
Dairy cow.
No, don't beat my dairy cow.
We're not going to get a dairy cow, though. That's way more work. Okay, so vegetables. This is good. Actually, I actually don't know that I have any qualms about the vegetable part whatsoever. This would be a lot. So our theoretical 2,000 calorie man eating 3 cups of raw or cooked like veggies.
I think it's vegetables of any kind except leafy greens have their own category, and it's
leafy greens is double the amount. Yeah, I think because it's just got a lot of air in it. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can eat a 6-cup salad, that's a lot. But it is good for you. And actually, if you've ever read Stan Efferding's Vertical Diet, this is about what he says to do with vegetables. I think like his diet, he has diet plans in the back, and it's like eat 6 cups with this meal of spinach, basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't eat that much because it's not fun and a little infeasible, and I don't think the juice is quite worth the squeeze. But it would be good for you, so I'm not going to put it down for health reasons. It's more of a practicality thing. Like the only people that I think eat that many vegetables are vegans and bodybuilders deep in prep, so they can just put something in their stomach that's pretty much free calories.
Fill it with lettuce. Yeah,
that's the fill it with lettuce because it's mostly just fiber and water.
The vegetables. Well, this is the mindset really of anybody who's looking at food charts like this. Is you're thinking of things as a limit. Vegetables is more like a bare minimum. So
true.
There's it's hard to kind of change your thinking on that. I mean, parts of the protein I would even say is bare minimum. So
I would say the protein is approaching bare minimum.
On this chart, but a lot of the fattier ones.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, are we talking a recommended amount? Are we talking a minimum? Are we talking a maximum? Because the vegetables would be a maximum to me. The protein would be a minimum. The dairy would be, does it fit your macros and do you tolerate it? But the veggies, it's like that's a lot of veggies. Which again, good for you. I don't have any problem with someone eating 6 cups of lettuce a day. Like, actually, I would say that's probably very, very beneficial to your health. It's just like it takes a while to eat that much salad, and it's not fun at that point, at least to me. Fruits, though, I think this is a lot of fruits. I mean, depending on what that's the hard thing, right?
It's 1 cup raw or half a cup dried. I don't think 1 cup raw is. So for 2,000 calories would end up being 2 cups. I don't think it's hard to eat a cup of fruit.
Yeah.
In even one sitting. Yeah. But the half a cup dried is maybe a little too much dried because it's going to be really packed with sugar and
that's my concern with the dried thing, right? Is usually there's a lot of sugar added to it. It's like most dried fruit is basically candy. It's a dessert. It's not. It's very sugar dense. So if it's genuinely just dried, cool. But that's not what you find in a typical supermarket. Usually it's very, very sugary. Tastes great.
Dried, sweetened. You usually see that on the label.
Yeah. You have to look for the unsweetened
Very stuff. Sweetened. They're basically using sugar as a preservative, which it is. Yeah. Kind of like salt. It can be.
Yeah.
But even if you think of what a cup of grapes looked like, and then what that would be dried and shrunken is going to be less than half a cup. So
it will be. That's exactly.
They're not quite equivalent.
No,
they're not. You could if you eat a half cup of raisins, that's a lot more calories, I think, than a cup of grapes. A lot. So you'd have to be careful with the dried part. But we'll just use the fresh fruit as an example, though. 2 cups of fresh fruit, that's actually close to what I shoot for most days. I think usually get. So that I actually think that's great. Just if you're eating them dried, watch the sugar, and you probably don't need to eat half as much. I would guess it's probably something like 25 to 30%, based on how much they shrink basically when they're dried. And just watch the sugar content, because some of them it's basically you're eating candy.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
Okay, so whole grains. What do you think about the whole grains, Amanda, for a 2,000 calorie man?
So 2 to 4 servings.
Yeah.
Half a cup of cooked oats, brown rice, barley, quinoa, or buckwheat. I don't know who eats buckwheat. Do you just? I don't even know anybody who
strong
buys
men
it.
in Europe love buckwheat. I know that.
Okay. I feel like I've never bought it. I've bought quinoa, but it's not as good. I've never bought
buckwheat.
Didn't we? No, we tried buckwheat for me once. I didn't digest it well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think we made it like oatmeal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
Didn't taste very good, and just sat like a rock in my stomach.
I think we gave it to the chickens.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, they'd like it.
Yeah, great for them.
Or a slice of bread or a tortilla. So 2 to 4 servings of that a day. I mean, it's not terrible. I think it's a greater proportion than it shows on the graphic, with all that being way down at the bottom of the upside down pyramid.
Yeah.
It's not quite as much as like 7 to 8 servings or whatever it had been on the original food pyramid. 6 or 7 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good amount. And it specifies cooked, so that's an important part. Half a cup of dried rice. It's not going to be the same when it's
I would have
cooked.
rather they just said rice instead of brown rice, because some people digest brown or white better. And there's a weird, in the crunchy world, thing about brown rice being like inherently better because it's got more nutrition. That's not what I've seen. Like jasmine rice has
white rice here.
Yeah.
No, it's not inherently more nutritious.
Yeah, if you look at the mineral breakdown, it's just different, but one's not better than the other. Like white rice, I've heard some people talk about it being bleached. It's not bleached.
Oh yeah, I used to think that like 12 years ago.
Yeah, it's not. They don't put bleach in rice. That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
White rice is white rice when they harvest it. Like, so it doesn't, just because it's not colored doesn't mean it's not good. I don't know if it's because of like the white flour association, which, by the way, white flour's like whatever. I don't think it's
also
really
pretty white
either.
whenever it's not bleached. But
if you look at the bleached and the unbleached, it's a very subtle.
It's barely different. Yeah, and I don't really like the non-bleached. We don't get the bleached, but like that's like the last thing to worry about in the order of operations.
Same with like brown eggs aren't healthier than white eggs. Some chickens lay white eggs. Like some lay green eggs or blue eggs.
Yeah,
well, exactly. And what's on the outside? It's that is what is on the outside of the shell. Like you're not eating that part anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
below, when it has more specifics, it says whole grains. All whole grain foods and products made with whole grains as ingredients. So I think they're just giving some examples there. But what's specified is made with whole grains as ingredients. So maybe not overly milled or something, where like the bran and the germ are separated and you don't get the whole thing. So which
I think there's something to be said for that. I mean, we want the whole thing.
Yeah. I think they're emphasizing the whole, like you said, the whole, if you want to say whole grain, whole food, unprocessed, of it all, which is a good thing.
Yeah. And there's going to be some processing in any like type of bread or things like that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to mill the grain down, but the more important part is like, is it minimally processed? So
right. Yeah. What kind of processing are we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I think that these portions are not bad from a caloric standpoint and everything else.
Yeah.
You're looking at up to 4 slices of bread, up to 2 cups of rice, 2 cups of barley or buckwheat or quinoa if you're into that. Up to 4 tortillas. Now the tortilla thing, there's a little nuance to that because you can get tortillas and you can get tortillas, but
I know.
There's a Chipotle tortilla.
Yeah, I mean you can get the jumbo tortillas, you get the taco tortillas, you can get those.
Are we talking a corn tortilla? Are we talking a flour tortilla? One of them's got more lard.
Yeah, so. But I'm not going to really fault this for that. I mean, I'm not going to pick that apart. I'm just saying, like, if you're using this, be a little careful. 4 jumbo tortillas is a lot of carbs. Yeah. So just that's the thing. Like, like if you're eating a burrito, I like to have rice in my burrito for the flavor, but it's not because I need more carbs in it. There's the right amount of carbs, honestly, in a tortilla for everything being proportionate.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Finally, healthy fats. I say this a little bit as a pendulum away from where we are, because in America we just eat too many fats in general. That's the biggest thing we eat too much of by far for most people, I think, are fats. And I'm saying that of people that most people don't drink sugary soda every day anymore. It's not that much of a thing. And a lot of people like, yeah, they're eating too much sugar. I get it. But like even all those sugar sources tend to have fats, like people eating donuts and all the very snacky things and um, all the frozen foods and things like that. They're all really high fat. So yes, there are fats that are healthy, but it's more like there are fats that these are the fats you should use that you cook with. And I assume that's kind of I hope that's how they're using it. But like, you shouldn't shoot for an intake of fats where you're like adding like, oh, you know what? I get everything else. I didn't get 4.5 teaspoons of olive oil or butter today. I should just dump some on my dinner tonight or chug it or something. Fats offer most direct fat sources offer very little nutritional value. If you're eating protein, you're getting all the fats you need. And if you're cooking it, which you use oil to cook with, you're getting enough. If you're eating vegetables in the form of leafy greens, you probably put dressing on it. The limitation is like you probably put too much dressing, like most people do. But I just think it's like fat's like a garnish at best, but it's incidentally in our meat enough that like you don't need a category, I think, to go seek that out. Especially if you're eating milk. Whole milk's on the picture.
Or nuts or seeds or...
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fat sources on this chart.
Yeah.
And the recommendation for 2,000 calories fats, it would be 4.5 teaspoons of whatever oil or butter you're doing. Mm-hmm. That is very easy to hit just from cooking your meals and not having anything additional. So
yeah,
maybe they could specify used for cooking your food or, something along those lines where it doesn't appear to be additional.
Yeah. And there's not really anything. It's funny. They don't actually say anything about the fats on that bottom explanation about the food groups. That one's strangely excluded. So there's not like a caveat there.
Yeah.
It does say, actually, right above where it says protein foods, in the bottom section, it says a sentence that says, healthy fats are naturally present in many whole foods, and small amounts may also be used when cooking with or adding fats to meals.
That should have been a bullet point with the other food groups. That's kind of
I feel like it's hidden.
So they said the right thing. I just think drawing attention to it would have been good.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is good.
Yeah.
So I think my main critique here is some of these are fat sources or carb sources in the protein area. We don't need to call out dairy as a category. It's more like if it fits your macros. It has nowhere near enough protein. Like on the highest end of protein, you're getting like a third maybe of what you should get. So you need to triple the protein intake. And then ignore the dairy, ignore the fats. And then you probably got something here. I think the issue fundamentally to me though is this is complicated. Mm-hmm. If you stuck this on your refrigerator for your family and were like, all right, we're going to do this, this would be really hard to be compliant with.
Yeah.
Versus just telling people like, hey, maybe you should have a fist size of, like, I'm just going to go back to that. Like if we're being simplistic, like have a fist size of protein, a fist size of veggies, and a fist size of carb source with your dinner. Mm-hmm. Most people do pretty well with that. And then the same for lunch, and even the same for breakfast. With even that needs caveats though. Like, is an egg fist sized? Like 2 eggs probably is. So.
Yeah, the first thing I said whenever I saw the chart was that's a lot of math because you're finding all these, you're kind of cross-referencing what calories you should be eating, and then you have to calculate from there what that looks like. I mean, theoretically, you could do it one time and eat the same thing every day, but if I am making a diet plan for somebody and they don't want a specific meal plan, they want something that's more of like a categories and pick from this, then I'll typically break it down by macro and for you, this many ounces of this meat or this meat or this meat.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a little more specific, but that's like for one person. It's something that's still individualized for them to not have to do all this kind of calculation from. Yeah. So most people, the hand portioning is the best way to go if you're really not sure of, if you don't want to measure, if you don't want to have this list to pick from, because you're automatically going to be portioning it for your size.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Justin, your hand is much bigger than Emily's. I would. Your
actually,
meat size is your meat portions are going to be different.
That's the joke in the Johnson.
That's the joke. Yeah. Well, it's a lot thicker, but the length of the like if we hold our hands together, it's almost the same. I've just got a lot more meat on my hands.
The fist is going to be
the fist would be a lot bigger. Large. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. I have dainty hands though.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, that's why the fist size, like it's a pretty good generalization. And I think it works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I would say like replace dairy with like a protein shake of choice, whatever you want. Like, so whatever protein shake, that's not one of the sugary ones. There are sugary ones out there, but they're a lot less now. So we're doing pretty good there on the market.
Yeah. That could bump up whatever's missing from the protein foods section.
Exactly. It's an opportunity to do that. Whereas right now the dairy is more of an opportunity to like add fats, carbs, and a little protein incidentally.
Or you could swap the yogurt for like a Greek yogurt, which has far more protein than like just a regular yogurt.
Yep. Yeah, like a Greek fat-free yogurt, something like that. So it's an improvement, but I feel like given that it's like 40, 50 years removed, I would like to see more drastic improvement over that period of time, because at our current rate, it's going to be like, maybe we'll get it right like 100, 150 years from now.
And most of the time these things come out, it's, everyone will make fun of it for a little bit. People who are like us in the fitness world are going to dive a little deeper into it, make a lot of comments about it. But to be honest, a decent level of vegetables and fruits has been on all the food pyramid variations, all the My Plate variations, and nobody's behaviorally like changing that. It's been on all of them. So it's not really actually putting anything into action.
No.
Yeah, I will say this one thing I did see. This is kind of an aside since we're moving on. I just move on for a moment. I did see some proposal that RFK has to have like a traffic signal sticker that's like red, yellow, green. So great for colorblind people. But anyway, but the thought is good for like, is it ultra processed, a little processed, or unprocessed, or not really processed? That would be required by the FDA for food packaging. I think there's merit to that. I think that could actually be good.
Yeah,
I think that
I wonder what kind of hoops the lobbyists from different food companies would jump through to qualify what's ultra processed.
Right. What are the details of the rules, like that kind of thing. I will also say that it does remind me a little bit of what actually I saw in Mexico last time we were there. I hadn't seen this before. They actually have like scary labels on everything that is high anything. Like if it's high sugar content, high salt content, it actually has like a label that's very prominent. It's like a warning. This has high salt. This has high sugar.
High calorie.
Yeah, or just high calorie. Yeah. So that, if we did something like that too, that'd be good. But ultimately, where this is all going though is your diet is your responsibility.
Yeah.
And it's not the government's responsibility to make sure you eat well. And it's not like most people are relying on the government for that, because they didn't, like Amanda just said, people didn't follow the, first or the second food pyramid or the My Plate thing or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So we've already talked about how you eat a good diet. We're not going to give the recommendations here. We don't have time. It's good. But please make sure that you're just not relying on the government for this stuff. This is well-intentioned and doesn't appear to be like captured by lobbyists necessarily or anything like that, like the last one was. It's a step in a better direction. But is it the best? Absolutely not. It's okay. And I think that individuals can do far better with just a modicum of knowledge that actually would require a lot less effort to comply with versus what I'm seeing here.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, if anybody listening to this does want specific help with a diet or anything like that, we'd be happy to help. We do, besides coaching, we also just do one-time diet plans. If you just don't want to stick with a coach necessarily, but you want us to just write you a custom diet plan based on all the factors you have going on in your life, we're happy to help with that. You can come check us out at highcallingfitness.com. And until then, gains and grace.
Gains and grace.
Gains and grace.
Yep.